All right, hello. It's been a little bit since my last modern industrialization video. I took a little break from it because honestly, I wanted to mess around with mechanism a little bit. Um, I actually really like mechanism. I didn't really ever mess with it too much before. I had some of the ore processing stuff done in the past. That's why I decided not to do a video on it because I'm probably just gonna do a guide. But nevertheless, I'm back with another modern industrialization video. There's a couple resources that I don't think I necessarily need to automate, but I kind of want to automate the process of, and I'm gonna use my AE2 system in order to do it. And I think in this video, that's what I'm gonna work on. Um, I have a couple things I'm noticing. First off, hello. That looks a little weird. There we go. I'm glad I noticed that early on. Um, yeah. So anyway, one of the things that I change is mostly with like the way that I do things in my world. Like I'm limiting now my mystical agriculture use because infinite resources to me low-key got a little boring. I'm not even gonna lie. I was feeling like there wasn't much point to mining, and I was starting to kind of lose a little bit of that edge to want to play. So I still have a fuck ton of resources. I dumped a lot, but I have a fuck ton of resources still. Um, I got my AE2 systems, what is it, matrix assembler and the quantum computer done. So my auto crafting setup right now is purely limited by inscribers or reaction chambers or the machines that are not in control. My processors are infinite, and my crafting speed is essentially infinite. So if I wanted to make a million diamond ore, or not diamond ore, diamonds out of my blocks, I would, it would be done in a fucking instant. It would be very very quick. Um, so I'm just at the point where I'm starting to get to like the late game. I've got decent armor. I might not have the best armor, but right now, realistically speaking, I don't need it. What I'm wanting to do is progress through MI a little bit more to get like the armor, and I don't know if I'll go for the weapon. I think I might go for the automotium Paxel, and I'm not going to use it as a tool. I'm not going to use it as a Paxel because like even my Supermium Paxel right here is just it's very fast when using it in most cases. I don't need it. And if I ever need fortune, I have fortune, what is that, 13, right? So it's not a big deal. So I'll probably end up running two Paxels, and that Automotium Paxel will probably be my weapon until I finally get how do you quantum, there's a sword right here that I really want. So when I get that, then that's gonna be my weapon. But for now, I got a little ways to go. So the point of this episode is I want to start working on automating some a certain things, and I'm gonna use my AE2 system. Like I'm finally gonna integrate AE2 into more than just homeboy here has infinite coal. You know what I mean? This is literally the only part that I did is I put an export bus onto that, so that way I don't have to ever put coal back into it. So there's a few resources that I really want to automate it. So you're gonna see a lot of I'm gonna place down pattern providers or pattern provider interfaces. I'm gonna lay out cable. I'm gonna be encoding patterns. So that's kind of where this is. One of the machines I really want to look at. I don't know if I'll get to it in this video, but I want to look at I had a comment. Somebody had said that automating the chemical reactor was kind of a pain. They said it was difficult. Um, so I don't know if I'll get to it in this video. It depends on how long it is, but that's gonna be one of them that I want to look at is automating this, and I'm gonna use my AE2 system because I think that an export and a pattern, like and maybe not an export bus, maybe an import bus and a pattern provider should be able to mess with chemicals, and if I can get a storage bus that should be able to help with that. So we'll see. for now, there are other materials that I need that I use on a constant basis. I'm actually gonna get rid of that. I'll work on that another time. That's mechanism reactor. Um, but I want to go back through. We're gonna do a little bit of I guess makeup work. So I want to automate stuff like one moment. Ooh, excuse me. I want to automate the process of making like copper dust. I want to try to automate things like copper blade. If I can make it in a machine, then I think I want to start making it in a machine. Um, yeah, because I think maybe not everything though, because I mean, it's going to be the same, and it's just instant. And as I said, my AE2 system. So I don't know. If I don't need a machine, I think I'm actually just going to keep it in my AE2 system and just let my AE2 system automatically craft it because it's going to use the same resources, give me the same amount, and it's going to use less power. And it'd be less wait time. I think overall it would be quicker to just use my AE2 system. So I think that's the route that I'm going to go. So a few things I want to do is all of my wiring here. This is such a clusterfuck. It's insane. It's I mean, if I'm to be real, it's dog water. This piping looks almost the same as when my German Shepherd gets done running outside and he wants to drink out of his water bowl, and he lifts up his fucking mutton chops and all of that slobber and water just runs straight out of his mouth back into his bowl. That's what this looks like. So we're gonna manage. We're gonna try to manage this a little bit better because this is bad. This cabling is terrible, and I'm tired of looking at it. The first thing that I really want to do is I actually want to take the macerator, and I want to first off get rid of that. I want to take the macerator and let's go ahead and we're gonna move it. So I'm gonna keep it as much in this room as I possibly can. I want to keep it in this room. And I want to take. I know. Here we go. There's a facade around here somewhere. So we'll break this. We'll go like this. So I have. Let's actually just get rid of that in its entirety. We're going to go like this. Sorry, there we go. Okay, we're gonna get rid of that, so that way I can tell where my cable's at. All the way through. And I want to be able to read my channels. That's important too. So I've only got one channel running right now. We're going to go ahead, and I think I want to run it from this side. And depending on how many pattern providers, well, honestly, not even pattern providers, I don't think I'm going to be able to use port-to-port on this, unless I use the physical block pattern provider, which I don't really want to do. I actually kind of want to use these. I feel like these are going to be a little bit cleaner to look at. So, yeah, where is it stuck? Oh, it's here. Yeah, see, this is the thing that I'm currently that I need to speed up a little bit. I have several working. Another note, I have ME requesters now, so now I don't ever have to worry about, well, I mean I do, depending on what resources I use, but I automatically will have processors crafting, which is nice. So for now, I'm gonna go ahead and put that in here. What I want to do is let's start with the macerator, the electric macerator. Let's, oh, I don't know why I'm burpy. Let's move, we're gonna do the compressor. Let's do the bending machine, the wire mill, pulverizer, and we can do these two as well. We're gonna start with that. I'm gonna pick that up, but we're not gonna do the chemical reactor right now. I just want to be able to do this. Okay. So, what I'm gonna put in my inventory what we're gonna work with real quick. I think is literally everything but the chemical reactor. We're going to now I need to decide where do I want to put things. So every machine needs to have a pattern provider. And the pattern provider itself needs to be powered. I think I'm just going to run a cable just like this. We're gonna go around the glowstone because if I facade the glowstone, it's just not going to be as bright. Um, so we're gonna do that. I think I'm gonna do that because I think I want to put the macerator here. And I want to put, what, I guess it really doesn't matter. AE2 system's just gonna push everything out, um, immediately anyway. So I think if I go like this, we can do that. And then we can go cable. I'm gonna bring a bunch of these, and I need these. I don't have those automated. Hold on. One moment. I think that's what I want. That's fine. Yeah, and look. Ooh, all of those are patterns still for my assembler matrix. There's so many. There's so many. Um, so eventually I'll come out with a video for that too, but for now, I wanted to focus. I want the majority of my focus right now to be on modern industrialization. I personally don't need ore manipulation. Like, I don't need ore processing. I don't need to double or triple or quadruple my ores because Mechanism already handles it, and I already have it automated. To the point where, like, you know, if I put raw inside of this system, it will actually move from my main system to a system that is specifically meant to shove, you know, a different AE2 network that shoves all of that resource into the processor automatically. I literally never have to worry about it again. Um, Coal's automated. As long as you know, if I check on my coal every now and then, just make sure that it has enough. I have all of my chemicals and stuff. I don't ever have to worry about it again. My, you know, the raw, it automatically pushes in. I literally set it and forget it, besides pretty much just coal. Um, so that is going to be the one downfall of modern industrialization for me, is I'm not going to need to do that. I might set it up just to learn it, but it's not, I'm never going to actually use it because I've already got one that I use. That being said, all of that could be completely diminished by using mystical agriculture. So if you don't want to set any of that up, just make mystical agriculture farms, put every seed that you have, and you can make almost every resource in the game, and then you will never have to worry about ore processing or anything. You'll just have infinite resources and just go haywire. That being said, I don't find that as much fun. I've found that out over time. I have severely diminished my farms. I went from 5 or 6 farms down to, I think I have maybe one. I have all of them set up. I have 5 farms set up with many accelerator, or, you know, growth accelerators and shit, but I don't need it. It was a bit too much and it was getting a little boring for me. So, moving on from that, what I want to do, for now, I'm going to continue to use my power reactors, because this is another thing that's getting a little boring. I set up these power reactors, they're nitro, they pump out energy like crazy, but I don't use the other reactors or anything. So when I get to the point, I'm gonna work on the fusion reactor for Mechanism. I'm gonna use that, or I'm gonna use the modern industrialization reactor to uh, you know, gain power. So that way I can just use a different mod, because I'm tired of using power. And it's not because power is bad. Power is a pretty good mod. I love power, but I just think it's time for me to use something different. It's gonna, you know, I want to learn another mod. I think it's time. I'm gonna get rid of that glowstone. It's just in the way. I'm just gonna move it one back, actually. We're gonna put it there. So yeah, that's kind of where my head's at for that. I got those set. We're gonna go like this. Boop, boop. So that's 5 channels because the one over there. We're gonna keep going, keep going, keep going. And then we're gonna find out, because this is how the majority of things tend to get ran when we're talking automation. Pattern providers usually, because, they just push out resources. And that's why I wanted to start with these, is because it should just be a simple input this, and then it processes, take that, pull it out, and we're good. Should be super easy. So with that being the case, I also think I'm probably gonna use the back. I have space back here. I'll probably use the back for my input bus, or my import buses. These in theory, these machines themselves should be pretty easy. They should be, just at this point, just pattern it up and we should be okay. There's an odd number of machines here. Is there another one I can do that with? Kind of. I can infinitely put in lubricant, and then whatever goes here. This is kind of. I'm gonna need an electric mixer. I think what I can do is I think I'm gonna be able to import bus this lubricant out of the machine and put it into my AE2 system. And then from there, I might be able to push that lubricant directly into my cutting machine. So I think that's what I want to try to do. Let's see. It's, yeah. Any part of this I'm going to need to move, I think. Okay, I do have. I'm gonna go polarizer. Do that. Boom, boom. Cable this guy up. Pop that. So they're all powered. Just in case you're curious why I'm using the faces instead of the blocks, it's mostly because I think it's gonna look better. They function the same. The extended pattern provider, if you don't know, the extended pattern provider is different from the normal pattern provider, only slightly. They do have couple of options. I don't realistically, I don't use them. I don't care as much about them. They don't, at least in what I use, they don't feel as important. It's not a big deal for me. Somebody else might know, but I don't really use them. The big reason why I like the export or the extended pattern providers is because of how many patterns you can put inside of it. Could call it a waste of resources, but low-key I need to waste resources anyway. So it's not that big a deal. Now, what I want to do for the time being, as I said, I'm gonna use my network 1. I'm gonna use that in order to power these. So if I go to Ender Cell, there's different tiers. If you don't know anything about power, the main thing that you need to know is the different tiers produce different amounts of electricity, and they have different channels. When we're talking specifically the Ender Cell, the nitro is the last tier. It's the best. It's the fastest. It has the most channels. It's the highest tier. That's all the difference really is. So I'm going to take my undercell, and then when we're looking at the face, if I turn on, I didn't mean to do that. If I turn on my mini map, you can see north, east, south, and west. So we're gonna I'm looking at the east face. So right here. If I remember correctly, I can always use these to double check, but if I remember correctly, in order for things in order for power to move from the undercell to the cable, I think I need to extract, or is it receive? Extract. Okay, so because I always try to think of the mindset of like how it works, right? So you're extracting power from the undercell. Okay, so if I set this to extract, you should see, boom, you see how the cable connected to it. Then you can see when I add it, since this machine here has no power, you will see for a moment that networked here, it went up and then it lowered. Your cables will only use the power that they actually need. If it doesn't need power, it's not going to transfer power. So we're going to create some more of these. Oh, okay. That's fair. Those are actually going to be a couple of the resources that I want to try to automate because I'm tired of running out of rubber sheets and I'm tired of running out of cables just in general. So we have all of our machines powered. I have realized that I still need import buses. So what I might do, because what I might do is I think I might put import buses onto the face of these machines. How many machines are here? That's important. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. That's actually really easy to work with. The reason why I need to know is because if you look, the 8 of 32 channels, I have to keep it within the 32 channel limit before I need another cable. It's important because if I have 33, then whatever bus or machine that I have connected to it, it will no longer import power. It won't work. So I would need another cable in order to do that. So keeping within that 32 limit is important. Now, since import buses, we need, I don't need 10, but since import buses, all they're going to do is pull out everything that, so most machines have an output and an input. I can auto eject. I'm not 100% sure if I have to use that yet. We're gonna find out. I'm sure I'm gonna have to. But the import bus should not pull from your main, your import here, your input. It should only pull from your outputs. Now, along with everything else, we need to cable that import bus. You see how it says device offline? I put the cable, boom, and now it's online. So we need to do that for all of these. So now our machine has power. Our machine has a way to automatically pull out whatever our input is, and now it has a way to input. That's what the pattern provider does. With the pattern, it tells it what to input into the machine. As far as I'm aware, we're gonna find out. I don't know, but as far as I'm aware, your modern industrialization doesn't have specific faces that these need to go into. If it does, that's what this advanced pattern encoder is for. That's how I use my I use that advanced pattern encoder to automate things like the what is it, the metal error confuser, I think it is, in mechanism. So we're going to start. I need copper dust. I'm tired of making this stuff. I want 1,000 of it to be made, and I just don't have to worry about it. So we're going to go to our pattern encoding, and I'm going to take a copper dust, and we're going to go like this. We're going to find the copper dust. We're going to find the copper dust inside of the macerator right here. And then we have encode pattern. I don't care to do copper double because copper double is just 2 copper anyway. I might as well just macerate it, just let it work. Because power is nothing. Like power means power. Power means nothing. It's so fucking easy at this stage. I'm still in low volt. From what I hear, it's gonna get worse. It's gonna, power is gonna become very important. I hope it does, because then it's gonna give reactors a reason to be needed. So we'll encode it. All that we're doing is this pattern's literally just going to tell this machine that to put in a copper ingot, and out should pop dust. Boom. Easy enough. Now, as you can see, as it does it, it's going to eventually be creating more dust that's pulling out than, so it's going to stay full. There's a way that we can change this. I want to see how quickly... Oh, it's actually speeding up. That is kind of abnormal. Usually, I have to put acceleration cards inside of the import bus, in order for it to pull. But if we look in my main system, you can actually see, boom, copper dust going up. We can do that for anything. So you can see the efficiencies going up. I'm actually incredibly surprised. I'm very, very surprised that this thing is that the import bus is keeping up. I'm dumbfounded. I'm not gonna lie. I completely expected this thing to get full. If I don't have to add an acceleration card, I'm not going to. Um, that's crazy. That's nice. Now, whilst that's doing that, we can also look for something like I think tin. Tin dust is usually a thing, right? So now we'll do the same thing for this. We'll go. Actually, can I? Can I? Nope, I gotta find the pattern. That is fine. We'll go like this. We'll go boom, boom. That's a furnace. I don't want a furnace. I want the macerator. Tin dust. How do we make tin dust? Macerator. Boom. Nice, easy. Tin should work. We want to double check. We have 127. Boom. There it goes. What else do we need? Steel dust. Steel dust is important. So we'll go like this. Find the macerator. Yeah, find the macerator. I'm not in encoding terminal. Boom. Dust. Macerator. Steel. Bam. So, literally do that with any of your stuff. Anything that, you know, it's actually that simple. And then we'll go for the same thing for the electric compressor. Let's see if the electric compressor pulls the same thing. It's going to. If that one worked, this one will. But let's see. So, we need steel plates. In order to make steel plates, we go like this. I need to find compressor. I want to make the steel plate. We'll go to compressor. Boom. Let's see if the compressor works. So we'll go like that. Plates. I want to make 100. Bam. There it goes. I also want to see if for whatever reason this thing just keeps up and this one won't. So that'll give me an idea. I think it's going to do the same thing. And we'll just run down that line. I'm just going to speed this up real quick because it's going to be the same thing over and over and over again. Oh, I don't remember how. This looks mixer. Okay. So we'll do that later. Okay. Okay. So for a moment, this is the point where I think I want to look and I want to be like sure. So we have these battery alloy curved plates. It's not the battery alloy that I'm looking at, it's the curved plate. So I curve. So I want to find out real quick. I think a bending machine will bend the plate faster than the compressor will compress it. And if that's the case, then that means that I want to use the bending machine because it's quicker. Quicker is better. So if we look for the compressor, it's 2 EU a tick and it's 5 seconds. If I look at the bending machine, it's 2 EU a tick for 2.5. So that means that all of these I'm gonna bend. So yeah. That being said, I might not. Oh, I don't know why I'm so burpy. Okay, so that being said, as I go through and when I start working and progressing through the next set of quest, I'm probably gonna have to put in more patterns and stuff because I'm tired of handcrafting everything. I'm lazy. That's what it is. I'm lazy. I guess you can say efficient, but I'm lazy. So lazy makes for a more efficient person. So we're gonna go to bending machine, and then we're just gonna start making patterns for that. Okay, real quick. Now, the same thing that we did with this, I didn't even actually pay attention to it. Um, Same thing we did with that. Let's just go to one of these. We're gonna do steel. I'm just gonna do 20. And then we're gonna run that. Does it work? Boom! There it goes. Yet another machine. Automated. Super easy. Next, alloy smelter. This one, I don't actually remember. This, hold on. Wait, battery? If I might be able to just use this, because I was seeing that in the other, I could use a mixer to do it. But if I don't have to use a mixer, if I can use the alloy smelter, then I want to. Yes, I can. Alloy smelter. So I can straight up use ingots. And I don't have to worry about turning it to dust first. This saves me not only processing time, but, well, I mean, I got kind of materials. I mean, coal for power, or uranium. But I set it. That's one of the things. I set it up to where I don't have to worry about ice, which is used in the power reactor. I don't have to worry about uranium. I don't have to worry about. Well, I might have to worry about redstone. I don't remember if I put seeds or not for redstone. I think I set redstone, and I don't have to worry about coal, or iron. There's a few resources. I took a lot out. I think I took out steel, so I might have to start producing steel again, which is fine. I actually want that. In a way, because then that means that I can use like the electric blast furnace and stuff, and I'll be able to automate those, and they'll be useful. That being said, for the alloy smelter, that makes my life a little bit easier, because that means I don't have to try to automate the mixing machine for that. That means that we go like this, and we're gonna use out. Thankfully, it's specifically the ingots. What is that? Anatomy and lead. So we just take that, we go here, and then we will see 10. Boom. All right, there it is. Super easy. I don't know. I actually don't know why I did 4. Is it because? Wait. Hold on. We're gonna let this run through real quick. It might be because it's 2 at a time. But then it should have been 5 ingots, unless it takes it. Hold on. I actually think the math checks out there. So I want 10 ingots. This is the big thing. I want 10 ingots. It might already have done the math, because I think it took the one. Yeah, because I think it's like while it's crafting, it took it and then it's crafting. It's not like a furnace where it takes it when it's completed. Important distinction. Because I think that's what tripped me up. But I'm really surprised these import buses are keeping up. Yeah, okay, cool. So it keeps up. Nice. I don't even have to worry about math. And then, obviously, as you've seen thus far, everything else has worked like this. Why won't the wire mill? So, let's go ahead and we'll do wire. That's a lot of wire. And then, I'm going to start doing the same process. Wire. Garnicle. Okay, let us see about wire. Now, I know that there's going to be a couple parts of this that I'm not able to craft at the moment. So like the electrum wire. If I remember correctly, electrum, I want to say, is an alloy, yes, that you need to craft, like the dust and stuff. So I actually want to look at, I want to look at the ingot. Can I just, real quick, alloy, smelter, yes, gold and silver. So in order for things to obviously autocraft, you have to have the item. So like for an electrum wire, I'm gonna need the electrum to be able to, turn into the wire. So that means, Jesus, that means that all of the previous tiers of the automation need to be completed. And well, unless you want to keep it manually stocked, which I don't. I don't want to do all that. I want everything to be automated completely through. So, first things first is let's just double check to make sure that our wire is being crafted correctly. That it's actually going to input and work, which it is. Now, I'm gonna finish up with these real quick. Then I'll go back and I'll work on the other things. So, for the assembler here, modern and so to make those, it's gonna be something like the maybe not the well the motors. I could do the motors. Do I have to do the motors? I think I have to do the motors, don't I? No. Wait. For I think it's the same. Yeah. So in this case, I'm just gonna keep it inside of my system. I'm not gonna make the assembler do it if I don't have to. So something for like the robot arm, I can make that in my auto crafting system. I'm not gonna worry about it. The same for this. Do I need to use the assembler at all? Because that's kind of where it's looking at. Everything looks like I can just use in my auto crafting system. So I don't think I want to really worry about that then. Now, one of the things that I want to say to keep in mind, right, is when we're looking at the machines, the modern industrialization machines themselves, okay? As you're crafting a single recipe, so if I'm macerating Coke, okay? If I'm macerating a bunch of Coke, then the overclock here will continue to run up. It will get more and more efficient, okay? This is an important note because if you're using a single macerator like I am, then when you go to switch from, say, Coke to, say, you want to macerate, I don't know, iron. Say you need dust, right? So you're trying to get iron dust. Your efficiency will drop. If you want to be the most efficient and have it continuously run, then you're gonna want to automate several of these machines to run that specific crafting setup at a time. So if you got 1,000 iron, 1,000 copper, 1,000 coke, right, and you just want them all to macerate, and you want it to be the most efficient, you don't want it to have to build up first, then you're gonna want 3 different electric macerators to run it. So that way it's more efficient, because that's just how these machines are set up. I'm not as worried about that. I just don't want to have to sit here and manually craft them 1,000 times. So it's an important note for efficiency's sake. As I said, I'm not worried about it. I might skip the assembler for now, and as I work through the other the other quests that I'm getting ready to do, I'll probably add stuff onto it then, because I don't really want to look through 1,000 of these things trying to find out something to automate. If I don't need it, I don't really care to have it. Now, polarizer is a little different. When we look at the wire here, you will see magnetic copper nickel wire. In order to get magnetic copper nickel wire, you need to put your copper nickel wire into the polarizer. And then that is where we get the automation for this. There's other things too. I think so that's Oratech. We're gonna go here. Here we go. And then electric cutting machine. For something like this, I think these are technically a liquid, if I remember right. They're a fluid, which is still fine because I have a fluid storage cell. And this is an important distinction for something like the electric cutting machine. This is also where things are going to get a little bit different too. I'm going to set up, this is a little bit more complicated when we're talking AE2. Only a little bit though. It's actually fairly simple. So I have this set up to where it will already produce lubricant. This is important. Because that means that I don't have to do much. What I need to do is I'm going to take an import bus, which I already have. We're just going to pop it on. And you can actually see right there, the lubricant is going down. That's important. Oh, wow. It's actually speeding up. I wonder if it's because the machine itself is inputting it. I wonder if that's why the import bus is keeping up. Because it low-key, it got faster and faster as it was moving, and that's the same thing that the machines do themselves. Okay. So, the creosote, I want to say the creosote is made here. Yes. Which is also important. So I can use a requester to keep up a specific amount of resource that I want in my system. Okay? So if I want to keep, say I want to keep specifically 30 megabuckets buckets of a resource inside of the system, I can do that. It's going to take automating this though. And the way we do that is the same as everything else. Boop, boop, boop. I want to look at lubricant. I need, yes, this one. We go to a mixer, and then you'll see it's creosote. So now I want to think about this a little bit more. Okay, I want to use my AE2 system. I do not need, if I'm using my AE2 system, important, I do not need these cables or these pipes. That is not a necessity anymore. I can get rid of this pipe because my AE2 system is going to handle the fluids themselves. So this black creosote pipe can adios. I do, however, still need that pipe or this cable. Important, very important. Look, I'm not. This is another part of the mod. Like as I said earlier, right now I'm using Power. I don't need these. We're just gonna get rid of them. They're taking up valuable real estate. Big time. I can get rid of that too because I can automate. Well, yeah, I'm gonna automate everything I can do with that. I'm gonna automate through my AE2 system. I need to not have these busted. I actually, as of right now, this theme is still important. Which I'm pretty sure I can automate the steam through my AE2 system too, by the way. Excuse me. I really don't know why I've been so burpy. Let me do that. Okay. So, let me just get rid of this pipe real quick. Can I... What? I think it's this golden one. Yes. Let's just get rid of these. I'm tired of seeing them. Okay. And there's more. Alright. So, in order to have the creosote get moved into the system, first things first, I'm not... This is gonna be kind of the part that I think is gonna be a little funky. It's gonna be a little tricky. I'm not 100% sure how I'm gonna do it. And I'm super curious. So hold on, how do you spell that? Creoso. Creoso. Eoso. Creosote. Okay. It's a coke oven. Okay. I actually think that might be easy enough to automate with a requester. So what in the hell? Okay. We're gonna stick with the coke oven for now, because I don't... Honestly, this thing doesn't look like it's too complicated. This is gonna be for another episode. For now, I gotta stick with what I'm doing. For now, let's just work on this. So what I think is gonna happen, is I think since we can use the coke oven, I should be able to attach a pattern provider to the coke oven. And I'm just gonna use coal. I want to attach that because I actually want to use the requester to tell the machine to put I'm spacing. I want to tell my AE2 system to put coke specifically in it, and I want to do it based off of how much creosote I have. I don't want to do it based off of how much coke I have because I don't care as much about the coke. If I need coke, I can have the system automatically request it. So since it's half a bucket of creosote, this is how I think it's going to work. I'm gonna need. I think I can. Yeah, I think. For now, let's take a look at this. I don't need steam for everything right now. Dude, time stamping this is gonna be a bitch. God, I just thought about the time stamping this is gonna be a nightmare. Maybe not. Maybe it won't be too bad. So we're going to take a pattern provider, slap that bad boy there. Keeping an eye on. I think all of this is set up to the point that I don't have to worry about any more channels. So I have 18 channels. I actually have. I want to run it in here. That's disgusting. That's gonna be ugly. I'm gonna do it a little differently for the sake of, you know, the look of that part of my base. I'm actually gonna run it this way, I think. Actually, let's do this. Let's go. Boom, boom. I want to run it like that instead. Because for this input hatch, maybe I don't use it here. I think I actually want to put it here. The reason I believe I want to put the pattern provider onto the item input hatch specifically is because I'm inputting an item in order to create the creosote. Then from here I want an import bus because this is where it comes out of, right? So that means that if I connect it like this, the system should tell itself to put coal in here, and then it should automatically pull out whatever it has. So see, now it's empty. So now if I look, I have creosote in my system. And I'm going to do the same here to pull out the coke. So that way I don't have to worry about pulling out any of the coke. So it's going to pull everything out automatically. The pattern provider should tell it to work. Now, this is what I'm curious about. Hey guys, a little bit of post-production here. I'm gonna save you a little bit of time in your life by saying I go through and I try to automate creosote with a requester, and long story short, with the coke oven, it is much more difficult to try to do that than with the Pyrolese oven. So I'm just gonna skip all of that hassle. In the future, I'm gonna make a video about the Pyrolese oven probably soon, and then I'll automate the creation of creosote with the ME requester through that machine, because the weirdness with the coke oven, it seems like it's just too much effort for something that has a clear, better answer. So yeah. I'm curious, do they create different amounts? By a half a bucket? Nah, it's all the same, so we'll just use this. Wait. So now I want to see, um, let's change this a bit. I want to change this a bit. I want to do 2 redstone and 1 bucket of creosote. So it would be this. No, no, no. It'd be this. Crea. Why can I never spell that? That's a weird one. Creo. Hold on. Bucket. Do I have a synthetic? Creo. So, boom. To make. Damn it. Hold on. The bucket to create. No, no, no. I want it here. 1 creosote. So then in theory it should, because it's half a bucket and 1 redstone. So if you double it, double the amount of redstone, this should work. Why is it 1.5? Why is it saying 1.5? It's just a bucket. It's not 4 redstone dust. I want what? 1 bucket and 2. Why is it saying 2 creosote buckets? Or creosote buckets? That's not what I want. It's 1 and 2 to create 1. Wait, wrong place. It's this. But that's should be true though. Wait, what? Oh, that's my bad. Here. What in the hell is going on? Okay. 2. And a bucket to create not 1.5, 1. Okay. 1 bucket of lubricant, 2 redstone, and okay. Let's see if this works. Create. I want to create 3 bucket. Okay. It's missing the buckets of creosote. Bucket. I want, let's do 2 more buckets. Creosote. So we'll put the buckets of creosote in there. And lube. No. Okay. That's what I wanted to know. It puts it it puts it here. Why is there 36? Okay. And so again, that's an important distinction. So I cannot use buckets in the recipe. So that changes the way I do things a little bit. I think what I do instead is I want to pull out all of the creosote still, and I still want to pull out all of the coke, and I want this to still input. I just don't think I can request it. I don't think I can set it up to auto request, which is fine. I think that's what the other machine's going to be used for. Instead, to request lubricant, I think I'm going to have to use the liquids. We're going to cancel that. I think I have to use the liquids. We're going to use the normal centrifuge. Oh. Okay. Wait, I've already got one. No, clear that. So, let's see. It should just work. I mean, it should actually work. Creosote. Do I not have creosote? Oh, I only have half a bucket. Right, because I have 3 here. Uh, yeah, that's weird. Okay. So let's go ahead then. And there's Coke. So it sounds like I'm gonna have to manually request. Oh, that's Croak. Coke. Sounds like I'm gonna have to manually request that to create creosote, which isn't the worst. Um, not the worst, but it's not ideal either. Right, it doesn't have steam. It needs steam. There we go. So now, as it does that, it'll create some. Then it should be able to function at that point. It's gonna be a little weird, but it's I'm definitely gonna have to work on that, but it's doable. So does it not? That's raw synthetic, which runs elsewhere. Yeah. Oh my god, this video is gonna be long. I think after I get done with this, I think I might let it go. I might, because there's gonna definitely need to be probably a part 2 to this. But I have automated a good portion of the machines, and it is possible to automate the electric mixer. Um, but you're gonna have to use direct fluids instead of buckets, which is fine. I wonder. Look, I wonder if I could use this to help. I don't know though. Because I think that's for specific faces, not a liquid versus an item. So I think that's going to be a little different. Um, I still don't have the creosote. The stone cre... Yeah, there it is. Okay, so I know what's going on. I know why it's fucked. The way I had it before is completely okay. Okay, so check it out. Check it out. The reason why it's not going into my system the way I thought it would is because the pattern itself is controlling the amount of creosote. It's keeping it in the storage because when your AE2 system is auto crafting, it takes you have storage containers and it keeps it all inside of that container. So it's not technically in my system, it's actually inside of my storage, like my crafting storage. So I think the way that I want to change that, because I don't care about the amount of coke inside my system, I specifically want to create I'm using this specifically to get the creosote. So we're going to remove the creosote from the system. We're going to tell the system that it doesn't even make it. Creosote. There we go. So now, if I go Coke, and I were to create 10, now, when it creates the creosote, it should automatically drain from that directly into the system. So it's at 4.5. So 4.5. There it goes. So there's your problem. That's why it wasn't working the way that I thought it would. Now, we can come over here and tell our electric mixer, I want to create lubricant. And let's see if it works. There it goes. Boom. And the lubricant is going inside of our system. Now, all of this, every bit of that, was just trying to get to the point that my electric cutting machine can have lubricant inside of it. So when I go for bronze rod cutting machine, I can tell my system that I need one lubricant, one bucket of lubricant, and a bronze ingot. Actually, it's not even, it's 1 millibucket. It's so little lubricant. Boom. I want to create 100 of those. There it goes. And it looks like this one. So this is what I meant earlier when I was saying that I might need to add more. Maybe not. But you see how it's as this machine picks up speed, it was originally catching up, or like it is piling up. Now it doesn't seem to be. So, okay. So now we have the electric cutting machine automated. Polarizer, it's automated, but I only have limited things. So I think I think this is a decent place to it's one big ham. And this is a decent place to call this episode because it's already long. I don't want a 4-hour long video. I still have other things that I need to create. I have to automate. But here's a start. This is good. We're looking at some good stuff. So, because hopefully as I move into the next I finally step into like medium volt and then later into the high volt, things should already be automated for the most part, and I hopefully will be able to just upgrade my machines, and I won't have to worry as much about that. So, yeah, this is the start of automating everything with AE2 and modern industrialization. It's fairly straightforward. So far it's pretty easy. The thing that honestly, I was worried about the chemical reactor because somebody said it was difficult. But if you're using like purely modern industrialization, I can see how this would be hard. But with AE10 or ATM10, all the mods 10 and AE2, it's gonna make everything so much easier. And one quick thing before I call it on this. I'm gonna be, I think I've said it a couple times, but I want to reiterate, I'm going to make a Let's Play soon. In All the Mods 10, I'm going to limit my mystical agriculture, and I'm gonna do some things. I want to not only use all modern industrialization in it, but the core of that Let's Play is probably gonna be mechanism. But I am gonna use modern industrialization in it, and I'm gonna work on like industrial foregoing and some other things. But yeah, it's gonna be in very similarly edited, I guess, to this. It's gonna be not super edited. It's gonna be mostly me talking. If some boring parts are around or whatever, then I'll cut it out. But for the time being, I'm gonna continue to work on this, but soon. I'm thinking like sometime this week I want to drop an episode of that Let's Play. So, yeah. I think that's it for now. In the next one, I'm gonna finish uh, I'm gonna finish automating all of the stuff that you see behind me. The Coke oven is kind of automated. It's wishy washy. There's that other machine. I'm gonna create that other machine, and then that Coke oven. I'm not even sure if I'm gonna need it anymore. I might, but only for Coke. Um, so yeah. Uh, anyway, deuce.